make sure that like you're on it. There may be a group that there's nobody here today, right? And so if I don't see this message of who's working on what, I will be alarmed like that.
Like, yeah, I would. Okay, coordinating the assignment is not. It's not there. So, and if you want, what I was telling him is that because we're supposed to set up some presentation area, what I can do is I can source all of the airplanes and just put them into a folder and send them over to you guys. So you can like just to make it a little bit easier.
She used to make music, so I think this will do. So you'll just take this number 7.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that's it.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's not so much.
What's the present on? Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. No, that's okay. Yeah, alright.
There you go. I'm good. Thank you.
YOLO.
Okay.
Hi.
Let me get out of here.
Sorry. Here, I'll move my No, sit here, sit here. Yeah.
The assignment,
Yeah.
and basically, I only have access to 2024.
Revit.
Revit.
So,
So,
deleted my 2024.
it's okay.
Yeah, we do.
So,
It's okay. It's okay.
yeah, because everybody has 2025.
Where did he go?
26.
2026, right? You guys are gonna do the model, and then I'm gonna do the report.
So there's one part on here, yeah, there's one part on here that doesn't involve Revit, so she'll do that one. Because she doesn't have access to it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to split everything else,
Okay.
which is good. So there's 6 things that,
So, that means are you going to give me a submission? Because then you're putting it all together?
Yeah, all you have to do, all I have to do is, I could submit it. I just need you guys to send me the link. I won't have access to it.
Yeah.
But what I need from
the
that
screenshots and
screenshots.
Is this screenshots or PDF that you
It doesn't matter, as long as I put it in the actual presentation.
So then you want to do quality, right? You want to do the screenshots.
Yeah.
Properly, so then the PDF is better.
Yeah.
Because screenshots.
yeah, so then there you go.
Okay, so then we would finish it, then we would just send you the PDF, and then you would be
Yep.
Okay, so then you're saying before, okay. So then you have to work on your time.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, whenever you guys are done, I'm fine. Like, cause that's not gonna take me very long. I'll probably honestly start tonight and just finish it.
Yeah, same with this.
Shared.
It's like 30%.
Well, I was good with we're talking
We did this game, right? Yeah.
Right.
It's down.
Right? Here, like, I'm saying, like,
I was thinking, I'm like, if
no,
I have an exam,
no, but then I was thinking,
So
because
it's not hard, but it's, all they want is they just want you to actually go through the process of making like really simple logs, you don't have to do all the details, just so that in the future, if you're ever asked to do it,
yeah.
you know what they're talking about, right? What they're doing. And
this is individual.
even if you're not doing it, you'll know what other people are
It
doing, but
is.
maybe
I
you'll
know,
do
right?
stuff yourself, right? So
crazy.
that's the idea.
No, because that wouldn't be like, I
Well,
personally,
it's also not personal.
yeah, no, it's not, so, how do you want to divide it? Should we wait until he comes back?
Yes.
Because it's based on what he
Just,
sent us.
so, in your
I already know what I don't want.
class,
I will do everything.
so yeah,
Wait, so we're supposed to
OneDrive.
Like, doors
This isn't tea, this is
There's just so many like dimensions
And
and
then
variables.
mullions and.
yeah, it's supposed to be here, so, in your.
Like, I think if
How
you
much
just
is
do a
this
critical.
Yeah, just I just wanna know that you.
Oh, please.
You're rolling.
Oh, please.
I'm gonna get worried if like I don't see a message from your group saying you know.
Okay, I'll do the
Like in my class
four
Wednesday, there
walls.
was one group, there was nobody there.
I feel like you're good at four.
So I'm worried that they're gonna show up next week and like, what did you guys do last week?
With
I'm like,
non-furniture?
hello, like you have 1 week.
So
to do
what we have to
something.
do
So I just wanna make sure.
Is you guys have
So
to
I'm not
do
really,
basically just the
if you say I'm doing like 1, 3, and 5, and you
Yeah,
say I'm
yeah.
doing 2 and 4, it doesn't
Do you
mean.
think where we
I just wanna know that you're, that you guys.
Yeah, no, didn't you get it? It's in your
I
email.
don't
Into
hear
the-
anything,
to your
then I'm
Teams.
gonna worry about
You
it,
have
right?
to log in onto your
Hi.
Teams. Yeah, I'll show it to you just.
Anyways, he wants us to do like, basically in that space, he wants us to do a display for projects. So, just a, like, pictures and stuff.
I know, like, it's like a 3D.
Right, coordinate the responsibilities, team schedules, and yeah. So, I mean, usually if you, or a group, you would say, like, you would pick one person maybe, I don't know if you don't do this or in your project, but one person sort of like,
You have to
a
make
person who
it
like,
come
is like the whip, the team whip or something, like, you know, whatever you decide the plan is, you say, okay, you're the one responsible, like, then, like, if somebody doesn't do it, then I'm gonna send a message. It's better than like,
I'll do
if you don't do, you know, if whatever you're supposed to do at the time doesn't show up, like, you don't get a bunch of messages from a bunch of people saying, hey, like, one person sort of doing it
No, you
quietly.
can like, you can,
And then going, no, I can't do it by Friday, I can do it Sunday.
you
Like,
can render.
instead of everybody hearing,
then
you know
render
what I mean, it's like a team leader or something.
So you're good at rendering.
So, you know, you can put that on your list, and I'm not grading. I
guess so.
don't know if you ever do it. But I know that the worst
Okay, so log
experience
on.
people have in
You
groups is
don't
when
have to
nobody's
use,
like watching to make sure that everybody's doing their
That's
stuff, right? Especially, our groups aren't so big, but in groups like 6 people, if one person isn't sort of given responsibility to like, make sure that everybody's meeting whatever the deadline is, it's a
Basically, it's like,
disaster. At the end, I hear it, like, well, I don't know, I did my part, but so it's good if there's sort of one person.
and then you hold it. And
Usually, in your group, we probably already know, there's usually one person in the group is sort of like that kind of person anyway. That personality, you don't have to declare it, you know that like, if you say you're doing something on Thursday, you know that person's gonna send you a message on Friday if they didn't see it. But it's just, I just want you to pick somebody. Yeah, just because there's so many, there's a lot of moving parts, and you can't do this stuff until the Revit model. You know what I mean? Like until the Revit model is, then the person can't populate it and stuff. And until the Revit model is populated, the person can't like take the screen grabs and make a
No, I
report.
don't like your-
So the person, whoever's doing the report, has to wait until the other people make the model, and then that person populates the model. So if
I also.
nobody is like keeping that process going, the person at the end is gonna be like, you know, 10 o'clock at night, and they're gonna be, have to do it before midnight, because somebody else finally got it done. So it's better if you have like a whip or a coordinator that keeps it.
So it's always on accurate, like measurement. Like this is actually this. Mark,
Yes. Nice to see you too.
nice to see you too. Is she added in our group?
Alicia? Alessia.
That's okay, but I'm surprised that you remembered my name.
Well, you sent me an email, right?
I did, yeah.
It's funny, in like my little AI assistant, you know, it gave me choices like, yes, I will add you to the group right away, or, you know, it gave me all these options, like, okay, I can't actually, I have to actually like do a response, I can't just hit a response, so I was gonna like see you in class today, and but I think if I have enough minutes right now, I can add you this very moment. So I'll try to do that
Okay,
right now.
found it.
Yeah. But I'm the one who has to actually make it and then wait, hold on.
You have to actually add it in, like what it says here.
Wait, let's do that now. So what do you guys recommend in Union Station that's healthy?
Union Station. There's this place that just opened up. It's
Like
supposed to be
maybe
like clean,
like healthy, maybe like salad with like some type of protein, like
That's the one. There's that Hopeful place. And then
So I just forget which group it is. What is the name of this group?
Studio Tech?
Studio
Okay.
Tech, yes.
Got it.
Thank you.
We passed by it, remember?
Do you guys commute?
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, we both live in the same. Where is that?
You showed him the place you got the juice, but you never.
So you're in the group now, and it should show up. I know that wasn't so hard to do, but
That's okay, thank you.
I think I was on the bus or something when I saw your message, and I didn't want to say, yes, I will do it when I wasn't sure.
That's so fair, yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry I didn't add you earlier. I don't know how were you a little bit late
No, I
registering or
was
something?
late, I was late to join.
Okay, yeah. So
emailed
in my other class there was somebody too, like last week, they finally came to me and said, I'm not in a group, and I was like, oh.
everybody,
Yeah, no, so,
Thank you.
so you're in here now.
Did we do the clipboard with?
It's here.
Sorry. Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, if you want to do it. You want to get your name on the clipboard?
Yes. Did you do it? You didn't do it.
Okay, does anybody need another minute?
No, I do it.
Do this sort of organization thing? A minute? Anybody? Are you?
And at this point, I'd forge your
Another minute? Carry on? You okay? Okay, so I want to talk about 360 imagery and just set you up for what we're going to do for that. So, oops. Close that. I just thought I heard my name called again. Nope. Yes? Okay, just 1 second.
What do you think I should get?
Close this.
No, I'm listening.
Which one? Oh, this one.
The Mexican black.
There it is. It is on Brightspace, yes. So if you want it on Brightspace, no, you can get it on Brightspace.
When does that hit from here? Okay, so I'm gonna open this So how do I add my Why did she change it for marketing?
Your bag is so cute. Oh, thanks. It's like it's a hand-me-down from my mom.
Those are the best ones. Those
All
are
of
the
my purses were like
hand. Mine for my sister.
but I never bring
This jacket for my sister.
I never bring
Okay, everybody, so let's just, unless you need another moment, let's get back to what we're going to do next. So when you organize your group, just go to your Teams channel and just post it, and now I will know that you're underway for this project. Okay, are you guys ready to return to the class? Oh, you can raise your hand. You gotta answer your question or not? What was the question?
Is it like, what's the lifespan?
I take it off every time. The only reason is it's old, but the balls keep
Yeah, so you want to open a new project, and then you want to go insert white file.
even this.
And then browse through it, yeah. So you're inserting like a CAD drawing or something like that, right? Okay, everybody, let's get started again, because I have one more thing I want to do today.
This is it.
So you remember the Matterport scanning we did, right? Where we had the stationary scanner, and then hopefully everybody saw the report that came out of that. There's a bunch of 360 images that you can go between. So what I want you to do for next week, like in next week's class, we're going to carry forward, but I want to introduce it to you. We're going to do it in the class next week. Is I want you to make a 360 tour of the space from the model that you're making. So you're going to make this model, right, for your assignment number, for number 5, and then we're going to make a 360 tour of it, right? Because Revit can produce panoramic images, right? So every camera view in Revit, you can actually produce a panoramic image, and then you can make that image part of a 360 tour. So your assignment number 5, right? Assignment number 5 is to make a 360 tour using a program called Ulio. And I picked that because it's the simplest one. It's the easiest one. It does basically almost everything you want automatically. You don't have to download the program. It's all done in the browser. It's all done on your web browser, so no applications to download. And not only that, but it has a plugin for Revit that if you install that plugin for Revit, it basically does all of the work of producing the panoramas and bringing them into the software program super easy. So that's what I just want to show you. I want to work our way through that this morning so you can see how that works. So I have assignment number 5 here. So this is the one we're going to do in class today, and then we're going to finish it in class next week. So you may need to do some work on this on your own, but probably, I hope you can do most of this in the class and do this in the next week. So I'm going to set you up this week, and then next week we'll try to finish it in class. So I'm going to hand out more paper. If you don't want paper, tell me you don't want paper and it's okay, but I just thought that for today's class I would make sure that you've got some printouts. So this is assignment number 5. I'm just going to ask you to hand them down the line. Thank you. So this is making a 360 tour, okay, using a software program called Ulio. We're going to just move it.
No, thank
This
you.
is number 5.
Look at this. This is
Yes,
like
it's a lot of assignments. I apologize. This one though, like I said, you should be able to do this if you're, unless you have to work on some other course during this class time, you should be able to do it in the class. Yep.
Bro, 10%, 10%, 30%.
Yeah, I'm going to give you, you'll get an indication from Autodesk Instruction Cloud saying you've been added to a team, and then you'll be able to put the Revit model there just like you did with your other course, and you can share it if you want. So this is due, like this assignment is really due like at the end of term, but I want you to try to do it, to try to do the model for next week, because next week's class we want to do the 360 tour from that model. Yeah, somebody in the group, when you're finished, somebody should take some screen grabs and stuff and just make up like a report of what the process was that we did, right? Yeah. No, just screen grabs aren't good enough. I mean, yeah, if you think that it's something that you would ever want for the future, like say you're applying for a job and they say, you know, if you have experience with modeling for point clouds, that would be an asset. Well, that's not the time you'd want to try to get something. If you happen to make a beautiful image or render of something and you can show them an example, you could like put that in a resume. Yeah. So somebody's going to like set it up like a design review space with like some easels and some stuff like that. And then we're going to make, next week in class, we're going to make a 360 tour of that. And then you'll be able to see that piece just like you did with the Matterport. It'll look like that, right? With this software that we're about to do right now. So in the class today, we're going to do this. We're going to show you the Ulio software. That's what we're going to do. More paper.
So basically,
In order to see the thing that you want to assignments, that's the long last week. See if your model is finished. Like we're going to do it in the next class. We're going to show you how it works. And then we all. Yeah, I mean, it's so good. As long as you understand what we're talking about today, you can do it if you want. Next week in class, I'll show you. We're going to actually do a little test today. Okay?
no, we only have 3 for these. One is individual.
You can, I mean, if you,
And then
so,
another one is
what,
individual.
you want to make a 360 tour, you can set, if you have your model, you can set the camera view now, even before you're stuck in the model.
This right now?
So I'm gonna show you how to do this.
Yeah.
Like,
This one right now?
this used to be a big deal to do this, before software is generally getting easier all the time, so this Ulio is gonna make things very easy for us. If you don't want extra paper, you mark any of it. I appreciate that, thank you very much. Yes. Okay, so let me just let's set this up for you. So this one is an individual assignment. So I want everybody to make a 360 tour, each person individually. So we're gonna actually do a test of it this week. So hopefully you'll understand how to do it. And then once your model is finished, right, you can just do it. It's gonna be super easy for you to do. And next week in class, we'll spend some time going through it. So if you have your model finished by next Friday, then you can actually pretty much finish this assignment in the model, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to create 3D views. Like, so using your camera in Revit, you're going to set up views. You're going to then create a 360 tour of those views in Ulio. But if you use the Revit plugin that I'm going to just show you, then that's almost done automatically for you. And then you just need to add some hotspots for navigation, which is also, they're going to be added for you automatically, so you only have to adjust them if you don't like them, and I'll show you that. And then I want you to add a few extra features, and I'll show you how easy that is. You just have to like click on audio file or video file or link, so we'll do that in the class right now. And then I just want you to submit the URL link of the tour that you made, right? And then I'm just going to click on the link and see your tour. So I'll just show you, right, this is the handout that I gave you, right? So in your model, when you have your model made, you just make some overall views, make some feature views. So it's like when we were using the Matterport camera. In fact, I'm going to show you the Revit model, so you'll see how this works, right? If you use the Jump plugin, then you can skip like these steps. You don't even have to do this stuff. This is all going to get done for you. And then you just have to add these extra features, and I'm going to show you how to do that in about 5 minutes. I'll be showing you how to do that stuff. And then submit the page with the link. I'll just show you some examples. All of the stuff I'm going to ask you to do in the digital document online, it has links to every one. So if you want to know how to do any of these things, like the instructions are really, with the software, really very, very clear. So here's some previous student examples of this assignment. Right, so basically they just took some views out of the Revit models and they put them together in a 360 tour. And I have an example here. Here's another screen grabs. So this is basically what you're submitting to me. Right, you're going to submit me a page that has a working link, and I'm just going to click on that link, and I'm going to be able to see your 360 tour. So obviously you need to make sure that link works. I have an example. I have some more examples here. Somewhere I had an example of the tour. I think I went past it. Just hang on a second. I'm going to click on the link to show you one. And the link is here for you to check out yourself. Back. Yeah. Back. I went right past it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So on this page, there's a link. You can click this link yourself if you want to see a tour when you have the submission. Actually, copy. I'm just going to put this. Teams. So in our Teams channel, under General, I'm just going to post this link if you want to actually click on this link yourself. This is example 360 tour. Otherwise, you can just look at the screen because I'm just going to show this tour as well. So if you click on that link, it will take you to this 360 tour. So this is what you're going to be basically producing, right, out of your Revit model. Link. Pasted. Just go here. Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is what you basically would be giving to somebody, right, from your tour. So you can see, if any of you remember, you can bring your brains back to the D building just outside D241. There was like a corner area there that had some couches, like D241 is like right over here a little bit, and then there was a pillar there, and then there was an area here with a window at the end. Anyway, back at Castle Williams, one of the groups was assigned to scan this space. So this is the model they made of that space, and then they populated it with a bunch of stuff. It was like a design review space, and then they have some, they put some links in it so you can move from the space. So I can click and go over here to this side, and I can take a look at what's here, right? Take a closer look at some of these images. you can look that they actually put a screen capture of the point file that they use in like in their design review space. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want. You can see they also put some artwork here. So, you know, what you put is not that important, but I just want you to make it. There's the entrance to D241 is right over there, if you remember that. And then this is this space. And they also, if I go back here for a second to this space, they added a couple of features too, which I want you to do. So I'll go through those and show you how easy it is to do that. But for instance, they have a link here. If I click on this link, it shows me this green wall thing. Right? So it shows me this image of what the green wall would look like. So you can easily add those to the 360 tour, and I'll show you that in a moment. And they had, let's see if I go back here for a second. They also had some music here as well. I'm not sure if our music is going to get shared. I've never played any music through this Air Media, so maybe I need to turn I guess I have to turn the audio on over there. So in case I need to play with this, I'll just see if this works. Anyway, you can put some audio there, or you can put a video. So there's a bunch of stuff. I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. I just want to show you. This was a submission that I got, right? So the student group just gave me this link. I could click on the link and I could take a look at their 360 tour and go through their space and see the work that they did. So that's what we're going to do. So if you go to ulio.com, so go to that web page, ulio.com, and if you, when you go there, I probably have to sign out in order to see what I'm signed in here. Hang on a second, log out. So when you go to this page, you're going to see there's a link here for free trial. So if you click on free trial, you can get a 30-day free trial for this software. So I don't think you have to give them any credit card information. So for the next 30 days, you can use this software. So I'm going to ask you to just do that, set that up right now. And under resources, you'll see there's CAD plugins. So if you can get it to work, there are a couple students who couldn't work, there's a CAD plugin here for Autodesk Revit. If you add this into Revit, it makes this process, like it makes it half as much work, right? It makes it a lot easier to do. You can do this, what I'm asking you to do, without using the plugin. So if it doesn't work for you or you don't want to use it, yeah, in Wednesday's class, it worked for most people, and a few people I got it to work for. So if you just download that plugin, it's free plugin, download it, and it will, you have to have Revit closed, of course, just like any plugin, so if you're going to do that, close Revit, add that plugin in, and then it'll work. So I'm just going to open up Revit here, and I'm going to show you how relatively easy it is to work. Are you guys using Revit 2025 or 26?
6.
Everybody's using 26? Like in my last class, it was, Wednesday, it was like half and half. So I'm using 25 here, but it shouldn't make any difference. So if you go to the Ulio and you do the free trial, and you go to that resources on that web page and you download the link, then you can actually you'll be able to do the stuff that I'm going to set you up to do. So on Teams, if you want to follow along with me doing this yourself, if you go in Teams under General, under Shared, that's not it. Probably pretty good. Oh, maybe it's under exercise files. Okay, yeah, exercise files. If you go to the Teams channel exercise files, you'll see there's a Revit model there, which is the one I'm going to show you. If you want to actually do the same thing, you can just download that file into Revit and you can just follow along to it. I'm just going to show you how easy it's going to be for you once you have your model to be able to do this. So I'm just going to go back to Revit here. 2024. Okay, so let's say that you have yours, so just pay attention to me for a couple of minutes, and then you can try this yourself if you want. Say you have your Revit model done. So I'm just going to go, this is a previous student project. So if I just go to their floor plan for their project, you can see this is actually, again, back to C building. Remember, if you go past the Tim Hortons and past the receiving and around the corner, there's some areas that have like these concrete round benches back towards where IT was, or the dance studio is there. There's a bunch of stuff way back there. That's one of the students. This is the group those students did. And you can see here's the view of where they set up their design review space. So if all you have to do this is once you have your Revit model, you just need to create the views you want to bring in your 360 tour. So I just have to go under View and Camera, and I just need to set up my views. So of course, to do a successful tour of the space, I'm probably going to want a view looking in from here, looking in from here, maybe looking in here. So I'll show the different views of the space from the different angles. So maybe my first view is going to be, this was actually the way you get to that space more commonly, so I'm going to make that my first view. Right, so I just simply make that view, and you can see that view shows like their design review space pretty good, like they set some easels up over there and stuff like that. So that's my first one. So for this assignment, I'm going to ask you to make at least 5 360 images. So that's enough to like go like from 1 to 5. So for all of your spaces, nobody got a space I think that was so big that you're not going to be able to show it in 5 images. If you want to do more than that, you can. So I'm just going to add another one here. So, I'm just showing you how, once you have your model, how easy is it going to be to do? You're just going to pick the locations that you want to have your views in your 360 image, right? So say here's another view I want. And then I go back and that is, back to my floor plan. And say I want maybe one closer here, looking at the easels and stuff that are over there. And then maybe I said at least 5, so I've got 4 now, so I'm just going to do 1 more, okay? And I'll just show you how this works. So maybe I'll do 1 more. I forget if I did 1 from over here, but maybe I'll just do 1 from right there, so I can see these. Here's my easels, right, that they had some design stuff on. So I have my views. If you load the Ulio plugin in, I'll show you how easy it is to do this. You can go under Add-ins, and you can click on the Ulio Jump plugin, and what it asks you to do is, your account should show up. I have a couple of accounts, so your account will show up there. You have a choice of just getting the images or getting the images loaded directly into your Ulio account. So if you create a Ulio account, and you sign in, it's going to take this stuff and put it right into your 360 project. Like it'll make it. All you have to do is pick the scenes that you want to show. So the ones I created were 13, 14, 12. Let's say I'm just going to take these. So say these are the ones that I want to import into Ulio. And then I'm going to want a floor plan to be able to show. So I just pick my floor plan. And then I can hit create project. I don't want to automate. So when I hit create project, what it's going to do is it's actually going to send this stuff, because I am using the plugin, it's going to send it straight to my Ulio account. So in my Ulio account, in a project, these images are going to show up, and it's already going to be pretty much set up as a 360 tour. So we'll see that in just a second. So once you have your model, and if you use the Ulio plugin, just go to a floor plan, set up the different views that you'd like to have as your 360 views. And again, it's good to have some that are like on each end of the space, but let's just say you have like a table of beverages and donuts here. You probably want to have a view close to that so somebody can look at the food that's available if you want. Okay, so it says it's all been exported. So now if I go to my Ulio account, right, that stuff should show up there or be on the way in. So if I go and I sign in, so if you've created an account in Ulio, once you've done that, so I'm just going to sign in. So I've got lots of projects and accounts in there. But the one that I did today, it's November 28th, right, is the one right here, right? So it loaded that stuff in. If I click on this project, it is telling me that, okay, these things are still processing, right? So it's going to take another couple minutes. But these are the views in Revit, and it's just processing these. So in a moment or two, they will appear as 360 images, and then I'll actually be able to have basically the main part of the tour already done. So as soon as these finish loading, we'll do that. But in the meantime, I can just go back and I can show you like another project, so you can see. So I think I have one that I did from Wednesday here, maybe I can show you. Well, those ones are still processing. I think I did this one. But if I open this one up, hello. Oh, there it is. Okay. So the instructions that I have here, like in the handout that I gave you, it takes you through the whole, through the steps, right, of it. So if you go through these instructions, I have suggested workflow. If you go to, I'm already at number 5, right? So the first one is create your free trial. Second one is create a project in Ulio. If you use the jump, you don't have to create a project. Like it automatically creates a project for me, right? Let me just check and see if the project we just did is available. Okay. Doesn't take long. You can see it's a bit slow though. I don't see the preview image showing yet, so I'd say it's not quite available. So I'm just going to go back here and I'll show you this one. So what we're going to do is, there's a few things I want you to do with the product you get out of your Ulio jump, just to sort of complete your tour. So you're going to get each of your images that you import from Ulio are going to show up here in this list, right? The different views. And if you click on Hotspot Editor over here in the top right-hand corner, that's what it says in the instructions. Click on Hotspot Editor, you'll see that. Sorry, my computer's going slow. I think I have a bunch of different Revits open here and slowing things down. But if I go over here, this is where you can add any of the features you want to add to any of the views. So here you can add an audio file, you can add a text file, you can add an image, you can add a video. So you can basically, as soon as this finishes loading, I'll show you. So if you click on, say I want to add an audio file, all they have to do is upload audio files. So we didn't hear my music earlier, but say you want to have a piece of music, or you want to have a recording, like some students have a recording saying, when you click on that link, it says, hello, welcome to the design review space for my project. This is a project that I did in 2025, featuring whatever, right? So it's an audio file. So all I have to do is click upload audio, and if it's an MP3 or I think it's WAV, like there's a bunch of different files, audio files, you can browse to it. And then it's going to make I don't have an example of the one here, but it's going to actually create, it'll create a little, it'll create an object that you can add to your tour. And the same for video or for an image, or, so I'll show that to you. Sorry, my computer's going a bit slow here. But all the controls to add the features that I want you to add. So what I'm asking you to do in your assignment number 5 is I want you to add at least one text annotation, one image hotspot, and then either a link, an audio file, or a video file. So just find something that fits in your scene, and then add that to it. So I'm just going to go back to. Maybe this is going slow because it's loading another view. But if I go to Hotspot Editor, you can see that if I upload some audio files, I can add them. So for instance, here's where you can add images. Here's where you can add audio files. Here's where you can add video files, right? So you just have to drag and drop them in here, or you can browse to them. And then once you have them in your project, you're able to add them over here with the Hotspot Editor. So next week in class, like I'm going to take maybe 10 or 15 minutes just to go through this if you haven't already done this. So if you want to find an audio file, you don't have to do it then, but if you want to find some music or something like that you want to put into your tour, or you want to record something, then we'll add it at the time. So I'll make sure that everybody can do that. If I want to add video, right, I can upload a video. So say it's an instructional video on how to put together a piece of furniture that you have in your view or something like that. You can add these things to the tour. And then for each of your images, I want you to make sure that the default starting view is the way that you want. So this icon down near the bottom, it says starting direction. With each of your views, you can simply grab the screen and you can set it up so that the view is actually the starting view you want. So when a person clicks on the link to see the view, this is what you want them to see, right? If I change this, say that you look at the video that you've been given and this is the starting view. Like that's not what you want them to see. They can spin the screen and they can see this, but you'd rather have it start that this is the starting point, right? That they're seeing this. So you just put it wherever you want and you just click apply. And from then on, whenever anybody clicks on the link on this image, this 360 image, this is what's going to show up in front of them, right? They can still turn around and see the other stuff, but this is what's going to show up. And by the way, hopefully in week 15, we're going to have some VR headsets in here. Hopefully, I put a VR headset on and you'll be able to see this in the VR headset. To actually be able to like move through this scene and immersive instead of with it's just on a two-dimensional screen. So all you do is you need to. If I'm done with that one, I can just do the next one. So in this case, I only have like this. This is the one we just did. See if that one's showing up yet. So if I have a bunch of different scenes, I can add assets to them. So. So this scene already has like a little test image here, right? I added, so you can see the test image. So if I added something else to this scene, it would show up here. So adding the items, so we'll go through this again in class next week to make sure that you can do this, but it's, you can add audio, video, or a URL is pretty useful. So say in this view, this one's not really a good example because we can't really see the artwork. If we had a view that was right over here and there was some artwork here, on that artwork we can put a URL that takes you to a website where you can see the whole project or something like that. So that's what we'll set up. Up in the top left-hand corner, you can see there's a mini map up here. If you click on that at any time, it shows you where you are in the floor plan. So what we did when we first brought the images in, we also brought in a floor plan from Revit, and so that floor plan shows up here, and then it also shows where your images are, so you can actually see, where you are in the space, if that's important. Like in our case, if you did like the elevator lobby or you did the hallway, it would be a map that comes in from your Revit model that shows that on the floor plan. So this assignment is not, I'm not grading it too harshly, but it would be nice if out of this assignment you had, had this 360 tour. Again, you can take some images from it, maybe put it in your portfolio or something like that, to show that you know how to do this. In the real estate industry, people are doing this stuff all the time. So for you to, be familiar with the process of making a 360 image tour from a Revit model is something that might be useful for you. Okay, let's see if my scene's processed. Seems to be a little bit slow. Okay, there we go. So this is what we just did a few minutes ago, right? Or was it this one? Was this one? So this is the 5 scenes that I just did in the Revit model, right? So here these scenes all show up here. I can name these if I want, right? So I could name this one like West Hallway Entrance or something like that, and then in the image itself that will show up if I want that to show up. So I get the East Hall. Anyway, let's go to Hotspot Editor and I'll just show you again. So here's the starting default view of this image. Do I want to change that? I click on this button down here, this little triangle, and then I can change the default view because this is much better, right? I'd rather have this be the view, or I can check around and see. There's also this area over here, but I think for this view, I'm probably going to make this my starting view. So I'm just going to apply that. And then you can also cycle through the various scenes by just clicking on these two arrows here, like the left and right arrow. So you can actually just once it finishes this one, I can click on this arrow, it'll take me to the next one, and I can adjust that one. Okay, that one looks like it's pretty good. I don't even think I need to adjust that one. But maybe I'll just adjust it slightly, click apply, and then I can move to the next one. So you want to make sure that each of your views, the person is not going to be staring against the wall when they click on the link, right? So I'm going to adjust this one a little bit, apply. So I'm not sure if you guys are really thinking that the pencil or crayon benches was a nice addition to their model. So whenever student was responsible for populating this model, put the pencil bench in the middle of that thing. I did not grade that positive or negative. I thought it was an interesting choice, but you can put whatever you want in. So anyway, I'm just going to show you. Like I'm just doing the 5 views with each of them. I'm just sort of moving the view so that it shows up the way I want it when the tour is done. I think I have one more to do, and then I'll just show you the final product. So I'm just rearranging each of these, right? I'm just grabbing the screen, and then when it has the right view that I want of that scene, I hit apply. So now when and here I can add some features too, right? So I'll just show you, for instance, I can go and add a text annotation. So I can create an annotation that says like, yummy food. And I can if it say I have donuts over there, right, yummy food, come and get a donut, I could have a link here to like Krispy Kreme or something. And so if they like the donut, they can just click on the link, or I can put the URL for Krispy Kreme in there. But anyway, I'm just going to say, let's say yummy food is good enough. So I can adjust where I want my link to be, right? So say I want to put it there, or I can put it over here. That doesn't really make any sense. You can decide where you want it to go. So I'm going to put it here by just above the food, right? And then when I go back to my out of this text annotations in that view, now it should, let's see the scene. It should show up there. So let's go to, I forget which view that was. That one. There it is, right? So there's the text annotation that I put on there. So when I hover over it, it says yummy food, right? Or whatever I say. So this is useful if you are doing a 360 tour and say you use a particular range hood. It's a kitchen door. You can put a little an icon there that says, this range hood comes in 5 colors, and then you'd have a link to the company that sells that range hood, right? That's what you would find in a sort of a normal 360 tour somebody might take up a design. So in this case, your design is not really to SACE, although if you wanted to, these are sort of weird pencil decks. You could put a text URL link here that takes you to where you can buy these pencil chairs that you want, right? So in this scene, I'll just show you that. In this scene, I can go to text annotation, and I can create a new one that says pencil benches or whatever, right? So I'm just showing you, I'm not expecting you to make beautiful, super professional tour, but I just want to show you how. This is one software program that does it, but there's a bunch of them out there that you can do that sort of thing. So now you can see when I hover over this link, it says pencil benches, and on this pencil bench, I could add a URL, right? So let's just say this was my link to the pencil benches. I'm just going to put it in here. Right, so now when somebody clicks on this link for pencil benches, the link is there, and they can click on the link, and it takes them to that pencil benches. Right? In this case, it takes them. tour, but you see the point. It's super easy to create this. So if you're doing a 360 tour of a kitchen or bathroom or a living room or a school, cafeteria, whatever you're doing, in Revit, you make the views you want, you simply do the export with the floor plan, bring it into this software, and then you can make these tours. Now this Ulio software, it's free for 30 days for you. After that, I'm not expecting you to keep a subscription up. It's a bit expensive because it's really easy, but there are lots of other 360 tour softwares that are a little bit more difficult to use than this one, but they're all sort of the same basis. You bring a bunch of 360 images in, you organize them so there's a link between one and the other, and then you add some stuff to it, like video links or audio links or whatever the case might be. Okay, so if you downloaded the Revit file and you were following along and doing it, what I was just doing here instead of just watching the screen, if you have any questions, you can ask me about that. Otherwise, make your model, and you want to try to do this beforehand. To do this, you can. Otherwise, in our class next week, once you have your model, if you haven't made your tour, I'll spend 10 or 15 minutes, just 1 second. And then if you're stuck, like, okay, Mark, I'm trying to make the tour, but the video link isn't working for me. I can help you with that. And hopefully by the end of the class, by the end of that section of class this week, you're basically done organizing the tour. If you want to add audio or video, you need to get that ahead of time. So if there's a piece of music that you want to put in your scene, or a video you want to put, you've got to have that organized so you can add it to the tour. But this assignment will be due at the end of the term, right? So you just got to submit your PDF with the link so I can check out your 360 tour that you did. And so as long as it works, as long as I click the link and I can move between your scenes and you're showing me, that you added some stuff, I listed things, then I'll give you full marks on that assignment. Not grading that one too hard. I just want to make sure you know how to make these kind of 360 tours. Okay, questions? Some questions? Okay.
Yeah.
Separate question. Okay. So, I think that is,
I have another question.
yes.
The assignment for the Revit, the assignment for, it's not posted on Brightspace.
Which one?
The assignment for the Revit.
Oh, the red one's not there? Okay, I'll go and look. I'll look right now and I'll make sure maybe I didn't make it visible. So if you want to, if anybody wants to, if you haven't already, if you want to download that Revit file, or just any Revit file, if you've already got a Revit file on your computer, you're working on another project for some other course, you can, once you download the Ulio plugin, you can export like some views out of that Revit model and just check and make sure that this 360 tour works for you. It's not hard to do. So if you get how to do it this week, then once your model is done for assignment number 5, I should say assignment number 4, then you're going to just be able to export your images and make this tour. It shouldn't take you more than like half an hour to do, honestly. If you want to spend an hour on it or more because it's fun and you want to like really make everything cool, you can, but it's not, it shouldn't take any longer than that for you to do this assignment. Okay, question? Of like the one that we just did, of this one? Yeah, so right on slide number 23, how about I post this presentation right now, but on slide 23 there's the one that I just showed you here, right? Okay, so if you open up, so if you download that file, that Ulio install file, you have to have it closed, but it'll install it automatically. You download it, it'll install it into Revit, and then your question is where in Revit you find it. Yeah. So if you go in Revit and you go under add-ins, it should show up there. So if you go under add-ins, Ulio Jump should show up here. Just click on it. Yeah. So if you how many people downloaded the Ulio Jump app right now? I did it in class today. Just a couple people? Okay, because like everybody did it in my class on Wednesday, and 5 people it didn't work properly for, so I wanted to try to help them. So if you didn't download it, that's unfortunate. Maybe you can still try to do it right now if you're going to do that, because I had 5 people and had 5 different problems. Like it didn't work for somebody. So if you have a problem, if you try to do that, the first thing is, obviously, your Revit should be closed when you install it. The second thing is, if you try to install it and it doesn't work, make sure you restart your computer because it will flush some of the Autodesk blockages that Autodesk puts in. So if you restart your computer, then it should work. And then at this point, that's solved everybody's problem. Nobody's stuck that couldn't do it, right? The instructions, just to be clear, the instructions that I gave you show you how to do this without using the Ulio plugin. So in Revit, you can simply, like if you follow my instructions, you can simply go to, in Revit you can go to, where is it? View Render, right? You can go to View Render, and you can, whatever the view is, you can render that view, and it tells you what the settings are here in order to export a panorama, right? So you go into Rendering Cloud. The type that you want is let's see. There's session. No, sunsetting.
I don't know the light.
Oh, okay, here. Well, no, so unless it changed in 2026, so it should be output type, should be panorama. So maybe I need to go to, let's see, rendering cloud probably. Yeah, probably if I try rendering, it's gotta be rendering cloud. Yeah, okay, yeah, so if you go to rendering cloud, so if you just render it, it won't work. If you go, it's my instructions here say rendering cloud, but I didn't do that. So you go to rendering cloud, the type of view that you want to do can't be still image, it has to be a panorama. So you gotta pick panorama, and then the quality has to be standard. If you try a higher quality than standard, it won't let you process it because you don't have the free credits to do that. And then the width has to be 1536, right? You have to change it from 1024 to 1536. If you don't change that, the product you get is not going to be a proper 360 image. When you bring it into Revit, it's going to be like this stored. It will not work. And then you just have to render it. If you click email when finished, it'll send you an email saying the render's done, and then that's one. And then do it again for another one, and do it for another one, do it for another one, do it for another, do another one, and then you'll have those 360 images, and then export the floor plan. And then bring those things into Ulio. So you'll see why the Ulio jump is like better, because in Ulio jump you just pick the views you want and click the button and it puts them right into your program. But if you don't want to use Ulio jump, and 3 years ago, Ulio jump didn't exist. In this course 3 years ago, everybody had to do each of the drawings separately rendered and had to drag and drop them into Ulio, right? In the Ulio program, right, it's all cloud-based. So in the Ulio program, I just have to create a new project, right? So I just have to go create project, and then I just have to drag and drop. So the product of my renders from Revit, I just have to drag and drop them in here, and it would process them, and then you're just in the same state you were without using the Ulio jump. But it's a lot easier to just use that plugin, right, to do this. So they have a plugin for SketchUp. A lot of 360 imagery programs now have got plugins for the major to make it easier for you to do this, right? So imagine you're a real estate company and you're doing 360 tours of all your real estate offerings. Like it will save a ton of time if you use a plugin like this that you can just bring your images in. Okay, so if anybody wants me to help them, I was hoping that you would try to get this Revit Ulio jump plugin situation going so I can make sure it's working for you. I mean, I can do it next week too, but I wanted next week for us to, I want us to be able to like do this pretty quickly at the start of the class so that we can spend more than half the class just setting up the 3D printing. So before the class is done, everybody has a file that you're able to just bring to the 3D printing room, stick it into the 3D printer, and it will print your object. That's what I'm hoping we will get out of next week's class. So if we spend a bunch of time, like the less time we spend making sure this works for you, the more time we'll have to make sure that the 3D printing is set up and that you're going to be able to actually have something in the 3D print. Okay, so I've taken up all the time. So if you have any questions, if you don't have any questions, adios, have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next week. If you have questions, I will come around and I'll try to help. I'm not gonna sign off in case I need to show it in front of the screen, but I'll come around and give whatever assistance I can. That's fine. Have a great week, everybody. If you're leaving. No, and you just made a very good point. I'm gonna make these Autodesk Construction Cloud projects, and everybody's gonna have to be using the same program, or they won't be able to see the file in that too. So your problem is also from my other class, they said half of them were using 2025 and half 2026, so that's gonna be a problem for them.
Yeah, but also like.
Yeah, so you're not gonna be able, you're not gonna be able to share the file with them. So, they will be able to open your file, but you will be able to open their file.
Yeah, so the first assignment,
Yeah.
I will do the first.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
But the second assignment,
Yeah.
I cannot open the file with the document.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Unfortunately, like Revit used to be able to save backwards, like you used to be able to save, but they ended that, so, I think there might be a solution to that, but that is, so what you can do, here's what you can do, is just on there, you can just use the export from there model. Well, so, it's not gonna do your account.
You did it?
Yeah, I did it.
Okay, she did it. Yay.
No, okay, no. So when you go to the export out of Revit, it's going to ask you to sign in to the Udemy account. So if you sign into your Udemy account, even from her computer, it will send the stuff from the model on her to your account and not to hers. You know what I mean? Like she can sign into the plugin, and it'll go to your Udemy account. Then she can sign out of the plugin, and you can sign into the plugin. And it should send it to your account. Even if it's a 2026, it's just sending a 368. So that should work. You can tell me if it doesn't work, but that should work. Because when you go to export, like when you first, I'll show you. When you first go to use the plugin, right? When I go to use this Udemy plugin, I have to sign in.
I think he has to set that up.
So you're just going to sign into your account, and then the stuff is going to go to yours, and then you want to get the images out, you can go to yours. So if you guys can together decide where you want to put your camera views, and use the same one, or you can put your camera views where you want, and then you can put different camera views if you don't like hers and export those. Because you're picking which ones you export, right? So I know already in some way they put like DM1, DM2, and RJ1, and they put the initials inside the ones they want, and then when you go to export, you export all the ones that say RJ, and she exports the ones that say whatever. You could do that. I know. But honestly, unless you're unhappy, you can't agree like where you should put the views, just export them and bring them in. Because it's the process I want you to do, right? I'm not gonna look through your model and go like, hey, those are the same views as she had. I just want you to like, I want you to add your own text link and your own sound, your own audio, whatever, not hers, right? So that I know you did it. So the choices that I gave you were a text annotation, an image hotspot, and a choice of an external link, an audio, a video, or ambient. So yeah, you don't have to put anything else. You can put just a link in, like a link. If you have like a piece of IKEA furniture there, you can just put a link to that IKEA furniture in their catalog or something. You just need to show me you know how to do it. Like when I go through your tour, I'm gonna click, I should have one link in your tour that takes me out of to a web page, and then when I'm grading you, I'm just gonna okay, check, right? She did that, right? So I'm just gonna do, is there a text annotation? Yes. Is there an image hotspot? Yes. Is there an external link? Yes. Then you get the marks. Like, if you were submitting this to a client, I would expect it's like better than what I'm gonna expect from you. You're just showing me how to do it. If your starting view is like a little bit off, I'm not going to be like, you should center it a little bit more. But if your starting view is against a blank wall, I'm not going to give you the marks for that. Like, all your starting views should be like a view that like looks like a property. Right? You don't need to sign it, no. But you probably should sign it. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Send the password. If I stay, I'll let you know.